Good evening. This side Rahul Magan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting is a multinational headquartered group based out India, Singapore, and Hong Kong. More importantly, we do have offices in three parts of the globe. And we are multi-million valuation group, and more importantly 100% profitable, which means that we are not only 100% profitable, not a single dollar is backed up by any private equity or a venture capitalist fund. Not a single dollar. Which is definitely a concern for many people, because we are not Paytm, Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato, Lenskart, Delivery, Nikea, Byju's, and all these unicorns who claim to be a big unicorns, but they are completely dependent on venture capitalist and private equity money, and throughout loss making. But thanks to Indian investor who do not understand the difference between negative PAT and negative retained earnings, we are 100% profitable company. We are a multinational hedge fund, which means that we take positions in multinational geographies, which includes the Asian equities, Asian indices, US equities, US indices, and many more. Many more. Having said that, we are proprietary in nature, which means that none of the positions which we are taking is backed up by a third party capital. Not a single position is backed up by a third party capital. And we cover FICC, which is fixed income currencies and commodities. Probably we would be adding more asset classes in the near term. Apart from that, we have our private news desk, where we cover the financial and the non-financial news that is paid. We have our learnings platform, which is Sheetal Academy. We have 200 plus trainings who are live. We have our consulting business. We have our private placement programs. We have our family office desk. We have our pension fund desk. We have many more products which we have. But like I said, we are completely proprietary in nature. That's more important. In case you wish to have any information, you can WhatsApp on my personal number, which is +91 9899 242 978, +91 9899 242 978. Alternatively, you can WhatsApp on our back office, which is +91 9818 485 155. Now in this video, I would be covering the I have no words, the irrational definition of SOFR provided by the Federal Reserve, who believe that being a transaction based benchmark, it cannot be manipulated. But these regulators do not know that a transaction based benchmark, specifically when it cross linked, it can easily be manipulated. In this video, we would be covering the the stupidity in the definition of SOFR, which would offend many bankers. I'm giving you in writing. And offended people knew my number. This is the beginning of our coverage on ARRC. And hell lot of stuff. I repeat, hell lot of stuff on the cards. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. Have a great time ahead. Good evening. Welcome to part second of the video titled Secured Overnight Financing Rate, the highest stupidity of the life. One thing I'm sure is that people do not have time to study these reports. Because if people have time to study these reports, the report makers never did so much flaws. And let me show you more flaws. According to page number 4 of the guide provided by Federal Reserve, SOFR is published on a daily basis by Federal Reserve Bank of New York in a cooperation with Office of Financial Research that reflects the cost of overnight borrowing and lending in the US Treasury repo market. Note the word US Treasury repo market. Borrowing in this market reflects the best measure of the private sector risk-free rate. Bloody hell, risk-free rate. Because it is collateralized by US Treasury securities, which the lender returns once the borrower returns the cash borrowed. SOFR is a fully transaction-based rate and has the widest coverage of any treasury repo rate available, incorporating tri-party repo and the Fixed Income Clearing Corporation owned by DTCC, GCF repo data, and bilateral treasury repo transaction cleared through FICC. Throughout 2020, the average daily volume of the transaction underlying SOFR was close to 1 trillion US dollar. 1 trillion. Who's saying SOFR cannot be fixed? SOFR can easily be fixed. And if you are thinking the videos will not come, it would come. And I will push the Federal Reserve to an extent that people will start saying that yes, like LIBOR, like SOFR. Now let's initiate what this guide is talking this about. Number one, as we speak, there is no administrator of SOFR. Like LIBOR, you are having an administrator, British Banking Association, PBA. You have multiple administrators of multiple index rates. But for SOFR, there is no administrator, which means without an official administrator, a $1 trillion transaction is happening on a daily basis without having an official administrator. And I haven't seen anyone talking about that in on the channels like Bloomberg, probably CNN and all. Anyways, US Treasury market. Now, I agree that SOFR is based on the transaction data, while LIBOR was based on the estimate. But there is a catch. And the bloody catch is American banks, European banks, Asian banks, few Asian banks are having market share in US Treasury repo market. The top American banks, without quoting any specific name, they have FICC desk, fixed income currencies and commodities. And this FICC desk is taking huge positions in bond trading. And today, on 25th March 2022, history is a witness that bond sell-off is happening in the market. And curves are invert, which means Federal Reserve hiked the rate by 25 bips. And people started believing that the rate would go up. Stupidity, rather rates coming down. Curve is inverting. Now, few economists have started talking about the probable recession, which I am warning you since several weeks, since the last few months. But I would be most happy when Powell would be raising by another 50 basis point. I would be the most happiest person, let it be honest. But anyways, US banks have FICC desk, fixed income currencies and commodities. And when it comes to the FI piece, which is fixed income piece, they can easily create a big repo trade. Now, what the hell is repo trade? Repo trade is very simple, that they are taking the money and they are, I would say, putting their treasury securities as collateral. Oh my God, hold on. This is Federal Reserve. When you do a repo trade, it impacts your benchmark curve. What the hell is benchmark curve? Do we know? We do not. It do impact the OIS. So example, today Goldman Sachs is putting $1 billion repo trade with the Federal Reserve. It impacts the benchmark curve immediately, also known as the mirror trading. It impacts the US dollar OIS curve. And what would if Goldman, JP, Citi, Morgan Stanley, all European banks who operate in US, Standard Chartered, and many, they place their trades? Then how can you say that this is a secured rate? Because it is a transaction-based rate. What the hell? What the hell? You mean to say that LIBOR was estimated and you replaced LIBOR with, I would say a transaction-based rate, then you are successful. This is what you wanted to convey. But the highest reality that transaction based rate is not a guarantee of being successful. Let me move further. Borrowing in this market reflects the best measure of the private sector risk free. Oh, really? Really? All big banks have Bloomberg. They have Reuters. Bloomberg have Bloomberg Messenger. Reuters have Reuters Messenger. I'm on Reuters Messenger and I know a lot of coded language which I just need to write, and my counterparty will get an information what I'm planning to do. It's the best measure. To whom Federal Reserve is fooling? Whom? They're fooling themselves. But let's move further. SOFR is fully transaction based rate and has the widest coverage of the US repo data available. They feel that since it's a transaction based rate and it is based on repo, henceforth it is secure. But the stupidity is, even if it is a transaction based and it is based on repo, that doesn't mean it is secure. This is the highest stupidity we are talking it about. And what about tripartite repo? I can give you hundreds of examples, when tri-party repo can easily be manipulated. Easily be manipulated. And what the hell you are talking? It routes through FICC. FICC is nothing but it's a part of DTCC. Depository Trust Corporation. Come on, guys. Because it is routed through FICC, it means it is secured. Since it is based on you or a transaction data, it means it is secure. So you mean to say today Goldman Sachs just 1 hour, because let me read that every day Federal Reserve Board of New York website at approximately 8 a.m. ET. So the yesterday whatever computation is published next day. I just need 3 banks on a daily basis who put the trade as per my instruction. Do you know a BIPS movement in SOFR? BIPS movement in SOFR, whereby the total daily volume is near about $1 trillion, is 100 million. A BIPS movement. Even a half BIPS movement ends up near about 50 million. 50 million, which by the way is a huge amount for any bank to manipulate. I always fail to understand that how come the regulator feels that there is no intelligent person we have in the market. And I'm reading this guide thoroughly. You can see that I have made notes also. Please check it out. And I am very clear that I am going to be letting just see the notes which I have made. There are huge mistakes committed by Federal Reserve. And I am going to be very clear one thing, that SOFR is not at all a fraud-free rate. Not at all. SOFR can easily be manipulated, provided you know how to manipulate the SOFR. And history is a witness that American banks can reach to any transaction. And if you are thinking, I won't be covering this in detail, then you are mistaken, because I would be covering each and every part, just like the cash trades, the DTCC, the FICC, the repo index, the GCF index in detail. But I once again challenge the Federal Reserve. I once again challenge Powell, Janet Yellen, Joe Biden. If you feel that you are a competent person, then my number is 9899242978. I repeat, my number is 9899242978. Have a great time ahead.